Welcome, everybody. The start of a brand new season. The first of 25 races begins tonight here in Daytona. Welcome, everyone, to the fourth running of the Daytona 250, the Western Massachusetts Mechanical 250. You're on ABN1. Been a long preseason journey to get to this point, but we're moments away from seeing a green flag fly, and for about 40 drivers, a day with destiny. Practice and warm-up underway as we welcome everyone in to ABN Esports coverage of the ARCS A Square Cup Series all season long across our family of networks. 2.5 miles, a trip around this legendary super speedway. 100 laps, the distance tonight. 250 miles as everything gets ready to go here. Looking into this event. Stages, pretty well self-explanatory. Stage 1 ends on lap 20, stage 2 ends on lap 50. There are 3 stages in this race. So you're gonna have a little bit of sprint race, a little bit of strategy to go into this event. I'm Carmen. Sienna, Kevin Young will be joining me here very shortly to bring you all the action here tonight from Daytona. Top of the board at the moment is Connor Knowlton. Daniel Michelle sitting second fastest in the times. This is all warm-up for the event itself as everything gets underway. 3 minutes and change to go here. As to what we're going to be looking at here, and that will be using both the ticker and the tower throughout the event. 3 minutes to go here in the event. Connor Knowlton again the fastest, Daniel Michelle the second fastest. We'll go over the starting grid here in just a moment. Again, this is a large field, the largest that ARCS has had for this event in quite some time. "39 cars in this event. Qualifying for this field was determined 2 weeks ago with the qualifying duels. Drivers practicing pit entry, going to be very important tonight. Has a chance to do that practice.
Green flag pit stop's gonna be quite a tricky situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be a very tricky situation indeed. Warm up here, about 2 minutes left in warm up. Typically our broadcast start at the top of the hour. We're starting a little bit earlier because the race is starting at the top of the hour. Obviously no real life race in Daytona today. That's been pushed to tomorrow at 4 p.m. So no distractions, nothing impeding these 39 drivers from attacking the track here tonight. Going to be a lot of fun seeing how everyone attacks this. And again, we'll go over the starting grid here in a few moments. Again, all the starting grid was determined 2 weeks ago. We were off last week, but 2 weeks ago, qualifying took place. Starting front row was determined by the fastest speeds, and then the 2 dual races determined the inside and outside lanes behind that. So we had a lot of racing to talk about then. Now we've had some time to digest that. All the teams now can work together and figure out how they can get together, how they can work together as a team efficiently across this 100 lap race. Again, stages end on lap 20 and lap 50. So there's going to be an entire half of this race that is going to be entirely dictated by strategy and teamwork.
Yeah. And we've seen throughout, like we could use last year's Daytona 500 for a good example, ARCS 250, I should say, where it was a point where we saw B-Tron at the very end with some late strategies in a last green flag run. There were 4 B-Tron drivers together and 1 non-B-Tron related driver who eventually became partnered with B-Tron, but to the point where B-Tron played it well and tried the strategies correctly and knew how to get themselves in a spot where ensured they were going to get themselves at least the podium and the very least the win, which they ended up getting. So it's good to use this as a practice, and this is really the last opportunity these drivers will have, other than maybe testing sessions beforehand, to practice with their teammates, figure out what's going to happen, and going to have to try to make this work here for 100 laps. And yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see. But we know for a fact, at the very least, as the warm-up session is about to come to a completion, Knowlton will be the fastest of the drivers.
Absolutely. Warm-up's going to come to a complete close, to a stop. That means we are about to begin again. Start of a brand new season. For those that are joining us for the first time, welcome to Daytona. So let's break down this one more time. 2.5 miles a lap around the Daytona International Speedway. They're doing this at least 100 laps. There are 3 green-white checkers in this event. So we could see overtime tonight. Traditionally, we have. Track temps can't be too much better than what we're at right now. 31 degrees the air temp, 96 degrees the track temp. Very low humidity. The drivers wish they had that today. 20% humidity on track and very little winds. Very calm across the weekend in the iRacing world. Won't be too much longer we get to see that with the Tempest model coming in about 3 weeks. That's going to be interesting to see how that changes some things. Looking into the starting grid, Josh Gaiman, pole sitter. Determined 2 weeks ago in qualifying. Ross Baxter, the rookie for line power, alongside him in the front row. Dustin Painter and Cody Pennell in the second row. Bren Roberts in the 84 won Duel 2 using the substitute rules that were put in place for this season. Cody Pennell in the 84 in his place for this race. Dustin Painter won that duel in that Bucky's number 65. So we'll see what he can do at the front of the field as the rows begin to move. Kevin Feemster, Daniel Michelle in row 3, James Kerr and Michael Lawrence in row 4, and Josh Garrison and Austin Mongold round out the top 10. Looking a little bit further down the order here, you have the next 5 rows or so. Row 6, Brandon Proudfoot and Steven Oberstadt. Row 7, Brian Rupert and David Wright. Row 8, you have Patrick Oberstadt and Ryan Gomez. Lilac Sierra and Lily Pelletier Sharp in row 9. Row 10, Richie Catania on the outside of Mark Dila. Tristan Catania and Seth Wansing in row 11. This is, again, a very large field, 20 rows of cars.
Yeah.
Davey Houck, Jacob Delgado in row 12, behind Seth Wansing and Tristan Catania there. Brian Torchia and Connor Knowlton in row 13. Row 14, Patrick Allen and Pacey Wygen. Row 15, John Smeal and Emma Kruger. Then you have Erwich George and Kenneth Cheney. Tommy Withers and Ryan Pinnell in row 17. Row 18, Mike LaJoy and Tom Sears. Jeremy Brayo, the winner of this race last season, starting from the very back of the field, 38th in row 19. Josh Battles was inside. John Hagan, who did not take part in the duels 2 weeks ago, will start from the very back of the field here tonight. His debut in the ARCS World Cup Series comes at Daytona.
All right, as drivers are going to get ready here. Pace car is going to pull off. Again, it's the rust is going to come off here. For some of these drivers, they've been waiting countless hours, countless weeks to set their seasons off right. And at the end of the season, one of these drivers will hoist an A-Squared Cup Series championship.
Absolutely. Top of your screen, drivers and the manufacturers they are representing in this race. 3 manufacturers, Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. For Toyota and Ford, they got facelifts. The Ford Mustang Dark Horse Edition came out this season, as did the facelifted Toyota Camry ZSE. How will they stand? First time some of these drivers have raced this car on the high banks since the facelift. The only car that remained unchanged was the Chevy Camaro. The highest placed Camaro is Dustin Painter, that Bucky's number 65 in the second row on the inside there. We will have an in-car race reporter for this race, all the way back, 2-time series champion in 23rd, Seth Wansing. He'll be our in-race reporter for this event. Seth Wansing looking to try to go for championship number 3. Came very close last season.
Handful
missed the
laps.
championship 4. Yeah, absolutely. Did a fantastic job there. Looking to do just a little bit more riding on board. Here's the helmet cam for Seth Wansing. If he sees something, we're going to see it too.
I hope he's thinking right now, as he probably hears this, he doesn't want to hope that happens right now, at the very least. We never have to go through that helmet camera, because if we do, it's probably not going to be a good situation that he's going to be in.
Probably not, but it's also a very, very long race.
Yeah,
but he's an Irish reporter.
Yep, drivers do have one fast spare if they so need it. So these drivers will can be a little more aggressive, but at the same point, though, if they burn it early, you're going to see strategies change very quickly. So strategy will kind of play around that at the very least, but obviously, 100 laps green, I think everyone would be quite happy with that. So as the pace car is going to get pulled off here, drivers saying their last thank yous and whatnot, because at the end of 100 laps, it's going to be hard to be gorgeous and happy for a handful of these drivers, depending on how their nights finish.
Coming out of turn 4. The time for waiting is over. It's time for the show to begin. For those tuning in, I'm Carmen Sienna alongside me, Kevin Young, to present tonight's race. Live and in living color. The 2024 Western Mass Mechanical 250 is underway. We're racing at Daytona. First lap in the books and clean, and it's still Cody Pennell and Ross Baxter working together here. They'll control both lanes. Baxter the inside lane, Cody Pennell on the outside lane, followed by Daniel Michelle on the outside. Josh Gaiman to the inside in the 61.
I will say, as I watched these lines, we saw in that first lap, that inside line was getting a little antsy. We saw the 65, the 21 get a little bit squirrely in some points where they kind of had to drift out a second. So hopefully they can kind of get this settled out with, obviously, tires getting warmed up here, cars getting used to this. They'll probably be able to get it clean, but right now you can see a little bit of antsiness. Some drivers leaving gaps, like you can just see there in the outside line, right where James Kerr was on that point. Just a little bit of a gap is left, and then it's hold it up. But this time by, the 60 will lead the next lap. Will jump in now. The Cody Pennell falling back just a bit on the outside line as it's starting to lose its momentum here, but shouldn't be too far for that line. Gets the charge to go back towards the front.
Something that was emphasized very much so the last couple weeks here. This is a long race, 100 laps, guaranteed to be here for at least an hour and change. You cannot win in the first minute. You cannot win on the first lap. You can lose it though, that is for sure. Some drivers making moves. That was David Wright in the 42, that yellow, that Dayglow yellow and black machine. Moving to the inside lane in front of Josh Garrison. Ross Baxter continues to lead the way, the rookie, being trusted with the front of the field ahead of Josh Gaiman and Dustin Painter. Painter looking for a potential season renaissance. Was looking good last season, Dustin Painter was.
He was.
Unfortunately, he won at Atlanta, had a really good race, a plate race, really kind of came into his own last season, but had to step away because of the scheduling conflicts that he came up in. He couldn't really do any of the playoff races. So he stepped down and stepped out of the way, running on board with Dustin Painter right now for Next Gen Racing. He was the dual 1 winner for this race to get to this point, and he's sitting in that 3rd spot still.
Yeah, he won the less chaotic of the 2 duels, so overall played great to his advantage at the very least. Right now, currently sitting P3. Obviously, no real reason to press here, no reason to make a move. The outside line not having a charge up here. You can see on the out eyeing the camera now. You can see right there, Cody Pennell still leading the outside line, but just about a lane back right now, so Painter can kind of just run where he feels comfortable at the moment, and then if he sees that charge maybe happening, could try to step out of line if he so dares. But I don't think he really needs to press that right now, as remember, we're still looking at stage breaks. It's lap 20 that's the next stage, and that's about 15 laps away. So no real reason for Painter to jump out of line and risk it and maybe end up hurting himself or others just trying to make that move occur at the moment, as that outside lane is still drifting further and further back. And it makes me wonder if one of those drivers on the inside line will have to maybe make a leap of faith. Maybe an Austin Mongold, James Kerr, Kevin Feames, you can see in the wide shot, maybe try to jump out here and give that outside line some new life.
Gives us a chance to talk about some of the changes that are coming this season. 25 races. It's 11 races shorter than what we had last season when we had the full 36 race calendar. They shaved 11 races off. We have weekends off now, but that's changed a lot. It's still, you have a chance to win and get in. That playoff format's still the same, but now there's less time to make up a points deficit. Obviously, it's still race one, but now suddenly a bad race at races like Daytona and Talladega have a little bit more weight to them, especially seeing as how we have races at Daytona, Atlanta, and Talladega. We have 5 of those races in the regular season.
Yeah, and that could easily play into a situation where if you're not careful, like you said, you could take one bad hit and end up being in a spot where you may not be a must-win in the end, but let's say by the time we get around to the cutoff race at Daytona on July 14th, you could be in a spot where that becomes a must-win if you have a few bad races. And it kind of flips the coin as well, where we know some drivers in this field, not the strongest when it comes to road courses, and looking in the regular season, luckily, at the very least, there's only 2, Chicago Street Course and Sonoma, as Indianapolis is now back on the oval.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit less of an opportunity for those drivers to kind of be in a world of hurt. But the flip side of that coin is, though, is now there was always one, but Watkins Glen is now in the chase, and Charlotte Roval's off the calendar. So at the very least, though, there is a situation where they can kind of less damage if you're good at road courses. We'll cut a little bit further back here to the second pack here. You can see kind of drifting out here, not wanting to take a risk here, just kind of hold out. And you can see a third pack a little bit further back as well, but it looks like they lost the draft on a quarter. May have been a situation when they came out of the pits. But as you can see, though, they're kind of just riding around, not wanting to risk it. It's safe back here. There's no risk getting in an incident and being in the front pack. But the downside is you lose valuable stage points. And again, with the season being so condensed, it could play out a factor. We could talk in Daytona where a driver like that 23 could be kicking himself. Tommy Withers could be kicking himself that he coughed up max, let's say 5 stage points when it could then make or break.
And car going slow here. That's Tristan Catania.
Yep. Heard Smeal and Catania may have got a checkup situation here, so it could be affecting Catania. Now, Catania looks like he's going to marry his way on in the pit lane. Good opportunity to do it now, as stage is only about 11 laps away.
That's
so
a lot of damage on that car, too.
Yeah. And get it fixed up and make sure you can get back on the lead lap. Oh, stay on, get one down, but get it fixed and get the lucky dog to get back on it. So good opportunity to kind of come down. Misses his box, though. He's going to have to back up in that 48. We'll see if he elects to take the fast repair or try to fix it up and tape it out to go and avoid the meatball. So still up front, though, it is still Baxter leading the way here with Gaiman, Painter, Feemster on the inside line, 1, 2, 3, 4. Outside line, though, starting to get a charge. Cody Patel is still the line leader on that high line. No one has tried to jump up or de-seed him, as everyone is just making their opportunities working. There you can see Catania rolling out of pit lane right there. And so he'll go 1 down, and I believe that is a fast repair taken. So Catania now has 0. He's going to have to rely on keeping it clean if he wants to finish this race.
And it's all about getting to lap 20. You really want to get through the first couple stages with very little incidents. Catania with an incident there, but he's not going to be really in too much danger here. He's back on track now.
Going to come out just ahead of the 76 car, and 76 is running alone, though, with Kenneth Chaney, so they two can link up here and just make sure it doesn't fall too far back. Yeah,
so Catania's a lap and a half behind, but that's not a bad thing when you think about you got free passes that are a thing. Right now, Catania's the only car not on the lead lap, so otherwise pretty safe running at the moment. Catania can just kind of limp around, get that free pass at the end of stage 1, and then get back on lead lap and get more of that damage repair, because he did just enough to get rolling.
Yeah, just enough. Again, I'll just check his damage clock here. Again, it was an 8-second stop though in the pit lane, so I believe he maybe burned faster.
May have been faster, yeah, could have been.
Yeah, because every driver has one, so I believe he just wanted to take the chance here.
Yeah, he would have had to have used it if he was going to try to get rolling there, thinking about it, because that right front tire was not on the ground.
Yeah,
was not rolling, so he was definitely struggling with that. So right call to make. Unfortunate that he has to make that call in stage 1 this early in the race, but survivable.
Yeah, not a problem here at the very least. So still up front here, you can see a bit of the inside line becoming a little bit more disinformed. You can see right where Garrison is in that 44, kind of a bit of a line kind of falling apart here. As you can see, the 22 kind of not keeping toe here, Proudfoot. So gaps kind of begin to form on that inside line where momentum can kind of drift out a little bit if they don't close up here. It could play into the factor of that high line at the very least, but you can see, again, Pennell slowly chipping in a little bit there as Kerr gets a little bit loose off the bumper of Mongold there. But it's still the way. It's the 60, the West Virginia Take Me Home Country Road car, or at least the Mountaineers, leading the way here. It's led all 13 laps so far, and looking to try to make that a perfect trifecta go at the end of stage 1 by leading all 20. So right on board here with Josh Gaiman, right there at 61. Obviously the pole sitter, just kind of riding and playing, not letting us really challenge here. But now if you take a look, he's now got some company on his high side here. You can see the 84 gonna probably fill up his side here just in a second. There we go. You can see right there, that outside line has now got re-injuvenized with the 84 and the 47 nose to tail here. And it looks like Pennell is gonna get the charge here. I think he's gonna lead this lap. Question is now, does he stay on the high side? Or does he jump low if he gets enough clear and leave Lawrence, who kind of helped get him up there and make the charge occur?
Kenda Kierkath's doing a really good job right now. They're in the second row of those lanes. Gaiman and Lawrence, teammates there. Lawrence, the series rookie. Josh Gaiman, the veteran. At one point a championship contender in this series, looking to get back to that point. Cody Pennell in the outside lane. First lead change of the race from Baxter to Cody Pennell.
Look at that aggressive side drafting right there. Pennell not ready to give it up though. And again, outside line looks a lot more organized at the moment than the inside line does. Just look at the car count there. You just see, now obviously it's not a major factor. If you can keep it running, keep it pushing, you can make, let's say 6 cars work just the same as 12. But at the same point though, that volume can't help, especially if drivers like to jump out. Riding aboard here with in-car camera, Seth Wanzing gives us a good perspective of what he is seeing right now at the moment. Currently sitting around P10 at the moment. He's known someone that can really make a third line happen. He's willing to charge towards the front if he needs so to make it occur. That's how you become a 2-time champion in a lot of series. So just kind of riding right now, no reason really press, but wants to get towards the front here, up 8 spots from where he 12 spots from where he qualified. Watch right now. This field is getting very antsy at the moment. Look, a few cars just got clear there. Cheeseburger, Lawrence, Gomes as well. Actually, sorry, 84 Pennell jumped down and kind of left him at the altar. You can see drivers going high and low right there. Catania gonna go low. Gomes got left. Gomes was behind the 47, and the 18 filled the void that the 55 couldn't take. They all ditched that outside line. It's still a lot of scramble here. Looks like the job is not yet settled here as drivers are trying to find a way and try to find something happen. You can expect this to occur. So we're getting close to a stage. Drivers trying to get as many points as they can. But Sharp, again, being first time full season here in the number 18, looking just to set the tone off right. She did that in a truck series. She's done this countless series, and she knows how to get around these high banks and put herself in a good spot to try to help put herself in a good season position to start the season. It's times like these, though, when I watch the second pack here, you can just see, again, it's something that's kind of nice at the very least because it's less chaotic. Because you see this, and you see how they're just switching lanes, drivers moving quick and throw. It feels almost like it's a ticking time bomb ready to explode. And
well,
kind of feels a little
lap
more...
count.
Yeah.
Lap 17 of 100 at the moment. Coming to 3 laps to go in stage 1.
Looks like, again, you'll see on the high shot here in the third line. I think the third line is beginning to form here.
Yeah, we do have a 3 wide there, middle of the 3 wide. That's Kruger in the 04.
Yeah, she's getting split, it looks like, at the very least.
It's Kruger. Who is that behind Kruger there?
That is
That's the 00 Wygen.
Thank you.
And the
This is the
41
number
is
font
Patrick
there.
Oberstadt there, now leading out the middle lane because they filter out the way out here. Lilac Zero also in that group.
Yeah.
And it did not go quite as well for them.
No. You saw the opportunity kind of occur there, and a few drivers tried it, but a few drivers did get shuffled out like Wygent, but overall they kind of got it settled amongst themselves.
Well, that's why you make that attempt, because you're not right there. Kruger's battling for like just outside the top 10 right now. That's stage points, top 10. So it was worth the attempt to try to get to that point. Everyone obviously navigated that really well. Coming to 2 to go in the stage. Valiant effort.
Pit lane has now officially been closed as it is the end of the stage here, so no drivers can come down without seeing the wrath of a penalty. And you can see right there, again, looking at Lawrence, the 18 is Sharp, Catania. Right now at the moment, do they try to make a move here? Or do they, if an outside line can get a charger, do they take it? Or do they kind of just ride and say, look, 6 points is better than possibly no points? So Cody Pennell getting some help here from Josh Gaiman. Josh Gaiman feels like he can get to the front here. He's going to get help with the 60. So the front row, the 61-60 lockstep right now on that outside line. Big chaos in the back. That's going to separate the pack a bit. Looks like it was right around Kruger. Kruger even caught by surprise what happened as we hit 1 to go in the stage right now. Lawrence leads the way. And you can see basically that is roughly the top 11 we're looking at. So everyone except one driver in this lead pack here is going to get a point. The question is, who will be that unlucky one that won't get a point? There, looks like at the moment, again, inside line still got the momentum. Outside line kind of getting settled here at the moment. Looks like someone's going to have to make a move. Catania going to try to go out here along with the help of Painter. Looks like Pennell going to jump back low with the assistance of the 21 of Feemster, so they kind of leave him at the altar. Now the question is, can Feemster kind of make a charge here on the outside line? Looks like no help will come here. He could get second. Does he have enough to get the first? He will not. It's going to be 3 wide for second, but Lawrence, Cheeseburger Lawrence, is going to lead stage number 1 and win stage number 1 with Sharp, Feemster, Kerr, Pennell, Catania, Richie Catania, Seth Wanzing, Dustin Painter, Josh Gaiman, and Ryan Gomes, your top 10 in the stage there. So the unlucky driver didn't get a point. The driver that led most of the stage in Baxter, the 60, did not end up getting a point in that stage. As the field gets checked down here, obviously we're hit the end of stage number 1 here, so pit lane will be opened up here. What's worth noting at the very least is Pacey Wygent looks like he had to take service here at the moment. Sitting on pit lane alone at the very least. We saw it in kind of the shuffle there, so makes you wonder what exactly happened to him. Looks like he actually got a little bit of damage from what I'm seeing, but he'll have to take a penalty to the back here. But other than that, though, as the field will presumably come and take service, most of the field will come in and take service here. The question is, will all of them be taking 4 tires? You'll see right there the 00 leaving the pit lane right there. We'll have to go to the tail end of the longest line, but at the very least, we'll stay on the lead lap. So, at the very least, can nurse that car and try to get to the NSH2. Did not have to burn a fast repair. Important. So, his pit lane is now officially open. We'll see how many takers we get and what the strategy will be.
Everybody that comes in pit lane here. Almost run a fuel. It's not quite a full fuel run, but it's enough to where you can take fuel, take the free tires that come with it.
Yeah.
Because handling does matter in this car. Obviously, the way everything's changed with this package, handling means a little bit more now. So you definitely want to take tires. If you have an opportunity to take 4 fresh tires with no significant penalty, yeah. Oh, Baxter. Baxter made a mistake there. Hitting the wrong box, so he'll drop even further back.
Yeah. But as you say that, I was going to say, drivers sometimes take a roll of the dice here, and looking at the times and board, most drivers did not elect to take it. Tom Sears looks like he missed his box, by the way, so Sears going to have to come back and take more service. But other than that, though, everyone else elected to take 2 tires or fuel only. Looks like most took 2 tires while they packed it full of fuel. First driver to take 4 tires looks like it's James Kerr in the 75, and then it's Richie Catania and Patrick Oberstadt, the other 3 that took 4. Everyone else taking 2, or in case Tom Sears, not stopping at all.
Tom Sears looking number 14.
Mm-hmm.
Won last night's race, the SNS series, right here at Daytona under the lights. Trying to do so again, but we'll have to go to 39th place to make it happen.
Yep. Last plate win also came in the A-Square Cup Series at Atlanta last year that punched his ticket into the playoffs. So he knows how to get around these plate tracks at quite a good level. So definitely not worthy of counting him out here as he's running a white paint scheme, which you didn't see him run much of last season. Ran more of a black race ARCS paint scheme, ARCS.com paint scheme. So bit of a slight variation here, but still looking good at the very least. And obviously on the front, the Western Mass mechanical contractions on the hood there. So yeah, repping the race sponsor as well.
Yeah, Western Mass Mechanical Contractors, his father's company, stepping in and sponsoring today's event here at Daytona. Sears will have to drop to the back of the field and take service. He definitely cannot go without making a fuel service here. And actually in comes the 55 of Ryan Gomes. So
Interesting, Ryan
coming in
Gomes
as well.
Yeah, he came in. He did not miss his box. That was a scheduled stop the first time around. Took 2 tires at the very least. So maybe just packing it full of fuel here. Maybe wants to get out of the chaos zone here for stage 2, thinking it could be a bit more chaotic. Wants to just kind of fall back. A few other drivers also coming in as well. David Hawk, David Wright, a lot of drivers in the back there that stayed away for the first stage. So yeah, a lot of drivers coming in the top back off here, as this stage is actually longer by about, because when we get going, we're around 25, so about by 5 extra laps.
Yeah.
So worth noting at the very least, and obviously then it's double 45, because obviously the few extra laps are caution, so 45 to finish.
Let's talk to Seth Wansing here real quick. We're under 1 lap to green here. Let's hear from Seth Wansing real quick. Seth, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Carmen, I got you.
Obviously, we know we're coming back to green here very shortly, but you had a really good run in the stage. You're up 16 spots so far from where you started this race. How's that number 9 car feeling?
Number 9 Miller Ford is fast. It moves well, and this package has been really good so far. Amazing to see 40 cars out there, and that really helps with the runs too, and really creates a more interesting racing line. And so just got to be patient and see if we can't be aggressive and get even more stage points here in stage 2.
Obviously, fuel mileage is going to be critical. Is this a stage where you have to make a pit stop, or you think you can make it to the end?
It's all going to depend. Some people are going to play games that's really close, so 2 or 3 laps could be a difference here. So we'll see how everybody's feeling up here, but I want to race. So whatever equals racing and leading laps, I'm going to do.
Absolutely. Well, Seth, we're about to see green flag. We'll let you get back to it. Congrats on the stage 1 points, and we'll be on that number 9 car.
Thank you, Carmen. Hope everybody enjoys the show.
Now, Seth Wansing, number 9 car, our in-race reporter. Thankful for him to give us a quick word on that. A lot of cars stopped up to top off with fuel. So away we'll go once again. It's Feimster and Peltier sharp. Going to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air, and away we go.
In stage number 2 is completed. Cody Pennell will end up taking the lead in the stage with Seth Wansing in tow. Outside line looks a lot more charged up. The inside line did, unlike the reverse of stage 1. Pennell going to jump low here, but the problem is Wansing did not go. Cody Pennell was maybe taking a feeler offer, though. We'll come back up towards the top here. So it's Pennell, Wansing, Zier in that top line along with LaJoy. Inside line of Sharp, though, starting to come back a bit here. Got a little bit further back. I think that is Pacey Lygent up in the 0-0 here. It's actually kind of getting caught here by the pack here, so cannot get caught up. And right now, he's got a good chance to get swallowed by the pack here. Luckily, again, still not a lap down here, and similar to kind of situation we saw with Tristan Catania in the 48, it could end up playing a bit of a factor here that, again, if you can just kind of latch on here and survive the chaos and get back on the lead lap.
He's actually going to get on the apron there. He's going to get completely out of the way, which is the sportsman thing to do.
Yeah, especially being a rookie in this series, you don't want to end up causing strife on your first day in the series and put a big target on your back. So he'll come back up, obviously still having a wounded car, did not take the fast repair when he came in, so just trying to limp it around here, maybe burn the fast repair when he truly needs it at the end of stage number 2, because it's highly unlikely, going at a plate race, that you don't see at least one big one, or at least one incident that gives at least a handful of drivers damage. We already saw Tristan Catania end up getting a little bit torn up with an incident with Smeal. So coming across the line here again, Cody Pinnell and Seth Wanzing still in tow, lockstep. Pinnell will lead that lap, Wanzing getting a push. Inside line are not going away, with Sharp leading the tow here with help from behind of Feemster and our stage 1 winner, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Actually, it's worth noting in that inside line, it's 3 out of 4 of the gear cat machines on that inside line. The only odd one out is, speaking of the 21 in that point. So gear cats, maybe if they find an opportunity, could jump down. And obviously right there, 89 going to jump low along with Cody Pinnell. They'll make a quick move there. Sharp had to check up just a bit. At the very least, another world that 89 would be in the gear caps camp, but it's not. It's in the B-Tron camp. But right away, Pinnell will still lead this lap now, but Seth Wanzing in his Miller Lite Ford Mustang is looking to try to get a charge here with LaJoy getting some help here on the outside line, that number 29.
Yeah, we have one car, 1 lap down. Josh Garrison also off the lead pack here. Josh Garrison in danger of potentially going a lap down in this stage as well.
Yeah, that's the danger of plate racing. If you end up making a mistake or end up getting checked up or something and lose the pack, it's a lonesome drive for many laps, and you're just either hoping for a caution or a stage break or something to try to get caught back up so you can kind of rectify the wrongs. And it looks like, kind of seeing what happened to Garrison, just going back to check my own perspective, looks like he just never truly got caught up with the pack and just been kind of riding around ever since. Similar to what happened with the 00. Back up towards the front, or well, never really left, checking on towards the front here. Seth Wanzing now getting some help here. They've been inconsistent there. Wanzing kind of saying, hey, apologies for that, because he saw the checkup on the outside line, the ill effects. And looking at the point right now, again, just seeing it. It's just like watching poetry in motion to a degree, just watching what happens as Pinnell leads another lap here. But a lot of girth, a lot of open space on the inside line, I should say. See if anyone elects to fill it here. Running over here with Richie Catania here, number 24 machine. Was in contention to win stage number 1, but was left at the altar a bit when drivers pulled out, couldn't get it back going, but still got a nice top 5 for the stage. Looking to try to maybe win stage number 2 here in the number 24 machine.
Outside lane beginning to put that momentum together, and it's two Tombstone cars in the top 4 in that outside lane. It's Wanzing and Delgado. The 9 and the 52. Keep an eye on them. In comes LaJoy and Catania. And LaJoy got that lap. But now it's teammates on the outside lane hooked up together. Showing their prowess so far in this race. We had 1 incident, but no cautions in that first stage. Everyone hoping to have the same thing happen tonight. Last night's race, the SNS race at Daytona, was phenomenal as well. This race starting was just as good. Here, this time under the lights. Last night in the daytime, the night today. Wanzing led that lap. So lead change is going up in stage 2. Proudfoot on the outside lane as well. He's moved up to the top 5.
You do expect that, and we've seen this situation as drivers slowly move their ways towards the front. Drivers that kind of push towards the front. Obviously, look at this top half of the field for a minute as LaJoy ends up taking the lead on the inside line. We'll see if he can lead the lap. Michael Joy up 35 spots. Catania up 18. Seth Wanzing up 19. Delgado up 19. Lilaxier up 11. Breo up 28. Kruger up 18. These drivers are able to charge towards the front here. You can see one car pulling out of line here, making an emergency pit. Yeah, Brian Rupert making emergency service in that one. So we'll see what's up with him, why he's doing that. But he'll ride aboard here with the defending ARCS A squared 250 Daytona winner, riding aboard with him right now. With some question marks if he was able to run here tonight. It looks like was able to get in the seat and run here tonight. So you can see right there, look at that inside line, got a little checky there, a little checked up as we saw the 29 get a little loose. And that's going to allow a few cars to jump low. Wanzing, the 52, and that's going to change the dynamics of the outside line. Your new leader of the train is going to be that 41
Patrick
with the help of
Oberstadt.
Breo. Yeah, Patrick Oberstadt with Breo kind of getting some assistance as well. So those two leading the outside line now as Wanzing and the 52 jump to the low side and fill that hole that was opened up by the 29's little slide.
39 cars at the start of this race, all 39 still rolling. 37 on the lead lap. Josh Garrison about to join the lap down club. Right now he's on the back straightaway. And we're going to follow along with him because I believe right behind him right there is Wygent. It is Wygent. He's about to go another lap down, and then you saw the field. There it is.
Yep. Speaking of, Brian Rupert did actually end up retiring the car, so he is the one car that has joined the retirement list here, so he is taking the car behind the wall. But you can see right now the pack going to swallow him up here again. It's dangerous. He maybe didn't have the fast brake check. Maybe he already burned it. Maybe he made a mistake. Who knows? But 00 obviously still a bit wounded here. Not how he wanted the season to go. And going 2 down this early is definitely not going to be helpful. But you can see right there, he's going to keep it low, going to hold the bottom, which is what drivers expect, or at least pick a line and hold it, and we'll work around you. The only time they get kind of upset about that is when it's near the finish and it's 3 wide. But everyone will successfully navigate around him. And now the next car up will be the 44. They'll have to navigate in probably another lap's time. Speaking of there, you can see him right there in the shot. And that's a not a scary, but intimidating feeling of, when you lose the draft and you're just riding and you can slowly check your intervals and you can see that the pack catches by 15, 14, 13, 11, slowly counts down. And eventually you feel that pressure as the cars catch up to you and you see him in the mirror. It's just a concerning factor. But at the very least, Garrison would be the first one to go 1 down. And as long as he doesn't go another down, would he get back on the lead lap by caution or stage break. The stage break is coming to a catch here at lap 50, so not too long now. Speaking of looking at this pack, you can see it's already shuffled a little bit here. Some drivers we haven't really said much about here tonight's broadcast. Jeremy Brown in the 74, Emma Kruger in the 04, Delgado in the 52, Ryan Pinnell up the 7th right now at the moment, David Wright inside the top 10 along with Stefan Oberstadt, Patrick Allen in the 33 and 8th. So a lot of drivers taking the second stage as the chance to roll the dice and get a little bit towards the front here. Take a opportunity to run a different line here. You see Ryan Pinnell now getting some great assistance there by the 33. It's giving a push, but Ryan kind of reeling on the radio there. Don't push me in the corners. The cardinal sin of plate racing. So if you get a bad bump in the corner, it can end up causing problems.
Oberstadt leads the way going into this event as we approach lap 40. Again, stage 2 ends on lap 50. So still some time in the stage. So you see RC in the mix up here. Ryan Pinnell, he knows what it's like to take here to win at Daytona. So for doing an outstanding job of that. Ryan Pinnell just took the front of the field here with Stephen Oberstadt in pursuit, as is Josh Gaiman.
And it doesn't shock me the 12 jumped down the minute he could, because you saw that kind of in the communication where he was just like, he didn't feel comfortable getting pushed there by the 33 and was like, I'd rather get away as quick as I can here, even if that puts me at a detriment. But right now, leading the way on lap 39 here. Question is, again, as we saw at the end of stage 1, as the laps tick down the stage, drivers getting a little bit more antsy and want to get towards the front. And it looks like that will probably be the same cards we see here again, as drivers will slowly kind of push towards, try to make something happen here. Obviously, again, at this pack right now, it looks like we have, comparison to the field, we have, I'm trying to get the number exactly here, we have the top 30 in this pack here, and you got 31 to the rest of the field in the second pack, a little bit further back. Again, riding it out, making it work. Still, it's Ryan Pinnell's show up front in that Craftsman number 12, with Oberstadt, Gaiman, Stefan Oberstadt, Gaiman, Patrick Oberstadt, Brea, your top 5. And the outside loses more and more charge. They'll get it re-fired up here in a bit, but it's going to be a few laps. As you can only see, it's only about 7 cars deep. The rest of the cars are on the inside line.
Well, we heard from Seth Wanting there, it seemed like the field line was going to be very close, if they could make it or not.
Maybe.
So maybe there's a little bit of posturing to maybe make a pit stop late in this stage. Maybe that's something that's becoming a requirement. Not a lot of people have saved.
It makes you wonder. Oh, right there. I think your point was correct.
Yeah, exactly. You don't just posture to get up to the inside lane and start coasting like that unless you're preparing to come down pit lane. You don't just settle at the end of the stage like that.
Oh, just worth noting, Cheeseburger Lawrence missed pit lane entirely. Couldn't even get it low down. He missed the commitment cone. So you can see right there, Lawrence had to cut through the grass, and that's going to hurt him tremendously right there. It makes me wonder if anyone else got busted for speeding. Saw a few drivers lock it up quickly, but no one else ends up getting a penalty. That was Delayla, Sharp, Kruger, Gaiman, all in. Cheeseburger Lawrence ends up not making it, so he'll have to just come in next time by with the second pack. But it makes you wonder right now, that second pack of 10 cars that have drifted further and further back, maybe they're trying to make that number work here. But hearing some more commitments coming on this time by Seth Wanzing, one of the notable drivers, along with Proudfoot, Delgado, all in. Again, not the usually KICC on pit lane when you see during a final stint, you see 10, 15 cars, only 3 to 5 in each stint right now. They're slowly pulling off. And it makes you wonder if any of these drivers maybe feel like they can hit that number, maybe hit that magical 50 and end up getting some stage points here. Because the positive is, if you can hit that, somehow find a way to hit that magical number of 50, you end up getting the track position. Presumably the cars coming in right now as well will end up coming in again at the end of 50 to get more fuel and obviously tires. So there's that strategy of element there. Feemster looks like he's coming in this time by. We'll see if anyone else joins the number 21 machine. It's a little bit further back here. You can see right there a few others. David Wright in. Looks like it's a Prophecy Motorsports pit stop window this time by. So looks like drivers coming in with their teammates at the very least. Saw Gearcats blink first, then Prophecy, Vale, Prophecy / Tombstone. Now in this regard, blanking. But the point is, teams are coming in right there at the point, and looks like they're slowly peeling off one by one team. Speaking of, looks like B-Tron's in next. So 3 drivers communicate, so looks like a theme is occurring. So, yep, speaking of, you'll see right there, a few more drivers pulling off here. There's 3, 74, 41, which a lot of other drivers here. That was both Oberstadts, Breo, Kenneth Cheney, David Hawk, John Hagan, Ryan Gomes, all in on that service. And it's leaving this pack look more and more bare. Right now, you got in this front lead pack here, it's only 7 cars deep from Pinnell, Zier, Cody Pinnell, Lilac Zier, Ryan Pinnell, Patrick Allen, James Kerr, LaJoy, and Richie Catania all in this first pack here. And both Pinnells pitting this time by, Zier in, Kerr in, Allen Jr. in. So pretty much everyone in this pack coming in this time by. And that will hand the lead presumably over to the second pack here, possibly a Painter and Battles. Nope, Painter in as well. So we'll see how this all shakes up as next big pack comes in. Actually, a few cars will elect to stay out here. Tom Sears will stay out. John Smeal, in the 60, all staying out here. Along with one other car, that Ford Mustang there. Looks like he is one down. And we know Tom Sears is the fuel mileage man. Knows how to get the numbers out of the car here. We saw him do it at Darlington 2 years in a row when it was in the playoffs. He knew how to get that magical number and get to the stage. So maybe Sears has got a trip up his sleeve. And it also makes you wonder, when we saw a few drivers come in, they topped off on a second time around. Makes you wonder if they thought they could make it, so they came in a second time.
That's the question you think. You know, you say a lap under caution saves you 2 laps under green. That's the rule of thumb. So you come at the very last lap of caution, yeah, you have a really good opportunity there.
Yep. Should be worth noting as well, rest of all of the other major cars have taken their service here. So only cars that have not, actually not everyone, I think Milton and a few others in that second groove are coming in this time by. So they're now pitting now. So that second pack now officially coming in right there, as we saw a little further back. But right there, worth noting, Gaiman came out ahead. Gaiman, Sharp, and Kruger, a line of 3, are trying to chase down another line of 3 that may be saving. So at the very least, if they can't make it, it's not going to be much chaos for who wins the stage at the very least. It's going to be one of those 3 Gear Cats cars we're currently focusing on.
Oh, yeah, that's the important thing. I talked about teamwork at the top of the show. Teamwork was so important. This is 3 team cars. Would have been 4 if it wasn't for the incident there with Michael Lawrence missing pit lane. Would have been all 4 of them in this group. That would have been absolutely wild stuff. So they are chasing Sears, Smeal, and Baxter, especially as Sears tries to do the impossible here. Sears is the safest on fuel of the 3. He put on lap 22. Everyone else put on 21.
Again, it's interesting to note as well, Sears right now is actually being benefited by a Gear Cats car. The one Gear Cats car that missed the pit lane is currently the one giving a draft to Tom Sears and Cheeseburger Lawrence. So it's worth noting right now, Sears is actually getting kind of helped indirectly by the cars that are chasing him down to try to hit that magical number. And looks like Smeal and so they're drifting even further and further back here. They've fallen down even farther.
Well,
that time it was they're saving, but they're really dropping back. They are really cutting the throttle. They're going 165 right now for
well, they can afford to do that because as long as they don't lose more than like 5 seconds per lap, they're fine. It just, you have to try to do that, and you can tell that they're saving here. Let's pull up the dashboard real quick.
But it's interesting because Sears is not, even though he could probably do the same thing, not electing to kill that throttle as much as he needs to. He is still running 189 when he could even drop it further back. Now, obviously, he would lose the draft if he falls back. Meanwhile, Smeal and Baxter kind of are assisting each other here in their own way, as he will now take lap 49 with 2 to go in the stage. So pit lane is officially closed. So Sears has made his bed. He cannot officially come in now unless he wants to take the wrath of Pedally. So he has to feel confident he can hit that number along with Smeals and Baxter. But Smeal and Baxter are falling ham over fist on time right now. In comparison, right now, the gap is 5-ish, 6 seconds, about 5 seconds between Smeal and Gaiman. So they are not going to keep second to third, I feel, at this moment. They can still maybe get a top 10, as they still got about 10 seconds to Proudfoot, Wanzing, Wright, Withers, and the rest of the next group. But they're going to get caught here relatively quickly. As you'll see right there, Knowles go, two of Knowles go around, Knowlton, I should say, and now you can see Gear Cats as well, slowly catching them on a high pace.
Oh no, Sears has to come in. Wow.
Sears had to hit it. So that is going to be a penalty for the 14 for pitting on a closed pit lane, and there you can see the lead change officially occurring. So Gear Cats will take the stage, and it made you think, because you saw Smeal and Smeal and Baxter have to cut their throttle so much, and then you can see right there, even
still couldn't do it.
Still couldn't do it. Baxter trying to make it one more lap here. We'll see if he can do it. He wants to avoid the wrath of a penalty, but those two, they tried, but just couldn't hit that number. One lap short, basically. But back to the front here again, probably a lot less chaotic here. The question is, Gaiman, Sharp, Kruger, they're not going to probably fight it out here. There's no real reason too much to fight. Don't want to end up accidental issues here, so they'll be happy with 10, 9, and 8 points respectively.
Yeah, this is theirs to lose at the end of the stage.
Yeah.
We've got 8 seconds in hand. Or Proudfoot, Wanzing, Wright, Withers, Feemster, Overstat, Cheney in that group.
Looks like Sharp's going to try something. It looks like, Kruger going to be a little bit deceiving, going to slow around here. So Sharp's going to win the stage here. Kruger's going to end up getting, I believe, second by it. No, it was Gaiman ended up getting it. Gaiman actually ends up No?
I think Kruger got second. Yeah, Kruger got second at the line there.
Correct. Kruger, Gaiman, then it looks like Wright, Withers, Proudfoot, Feemster, Wansing, Oberstadt, Cheney, your top 10. So obviously, it wasn't for the main race. Gaiman, though, maybe, again, even though they're teammates, thinking in the back of his mind for a second here, maybe making a note at the very least. At the end of the day, though, you're not going to see a Kurt Busch 08 situation or a Biffle 2012 situation where they're going to stay loyal, especially if a checker flag's on the line. So obviously, Restonville going to come in here now, obviously come back in, get 4 fresh tires, and fill them up with gas to make sure they can get it. Obviously, 1 pit stop on the way, but it's worth noting is Baxter's going to get an EOL as well, so he could get it as well. So he will also get an EOL as well. At the very least, though, it makes the fuel number kind of understandable. At the very least, you can make it about 25-ish laps, give or take, a little less, probably 20 to 25 laps in a in a fuel tank here on green flag running. So looks like the magic window these drivers will have to hit is roughly about lap 80 to make it to the finish. Drivers get in order here. Get ready for service. Oh, re-rack the field here a second. See how exactly it's all going to play here and who is where at the moment. Who's on the lead lap and who is not once we see pit stops occur here. We know for a fact it's going to be Sharp, Kruger, Damon, the top 3, and they will lead. Gearcats will lead the train in the pit lane. That is the whole field coming on in. And we saw last time some drivers rolling the dice with 2 tires. Simply take the opposite 2 here, but anyone that took 4, maybe take a chance here. Race off pit lane. Guys, see a few drivers already taking a chance to roll the dice here. Hagan taking fuel only. Kenneth Cheney taking 2 tires. Then it's still Gaiman, Kruger, Sharp, Braille electing to take fuel only along with Mike LaJoy. So, a few drivers electing to take fuel only, not taking tires. So even though tires are a commodity you need at the very least.
So pit stops have taken place for the second time in the night. Into the second stage. It's John Hagan, Kenneth Cheney, Josh Gaiman, Emma Kruger, Lily Peltier Sharp, Jeremy Brayo, Brandon Proudfoot, David Wright, Mike LaJoy, and Tommy Withers, the top 10. We'll take a chance here. We'll talk to our in-race reporter one more time, Seth Wansing, and hear what he has to say after another pretty interesting stage there. Seth, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You get a copy?
Hey, Carmen, I got you.
Alrighty, stage 2 in the books. The short stages are over. Now the real racing begins here. How you feeling? Obviously, teamwork really a really big factor in how that stage ended. You enjoying where you're at right now?
I do. Try to really cut this race down to 1 or 2 more stops here, and I'm sure we're going to get some cautions now. Just try to play it safe and keep the number 9 Miller Lite Ford clean, and see if we can't set ourselves here in the last 25 laps ready to go win a race.
Obviously, it's been a wild start of the season so far, but this team looks really poised. Strategy-wise, looks like a pretty easy 2-stop event to end this race. You expecting any shenanigans coming up here in stage 3?
Maybe some guys trying to cut it on 1, and definitely some hard racing and 3 lanes of racing. So we'll just play her as she goes and try to put myself in a good spot there like I was in stage 2 towards the end.
One more question before I let you get back with your team there. Are you enjoying the inside lane or the outside lane a little bit more to make moves?
I like the outside line a little bit more, and I think a third line will come into play. So, but we'll see. It all depends on who's around you.
Well, good luck, Seth. We'll keep you an eye on the number 9.
Thank you, Carmen.
That's Seth Wansing that we're on board with there. He is in row 6, starting on the outside of row 6, on the outside of Kevin Feemster here. Green flag is in the air. Stage 3 is underway with 46 laps to go. Stage 3 underway in full force. Saw the check up there.
Oh, yeah, 3 wide right at the moment of the lead.
Oh, look further back.
Still taking base action. Someone mowing the grass there at the very least, but they get through it clean. That was a 44, I think.
Some way. Wow.
Still 3 wide up towards the front here, third lane there. You can see it right there. Hagen in the middle, Gaiman left alone, got split from the Gear Cats cars. Is now going to probably fall towards the back here. No assistance, but again, kept it clean there. Good driving standards at the very least to keep it clean. The drivers will now file back in at the moment. Hagen still leads the way. Jumps the low side here. Take the low chargers, leads 2 lanes being form. Hagen kind of just taking the Logano, the junior, the whatever approach you want to say, and blocking both lanes here, seeing what lane gives him the best charge. Stay towards the front. Ooh, looking at that, looks like James Kerr, looks like he had a connection issue there. Looks like his day is now done as well. He is officially, in the pit lane. I'll see if he rejoins, but looks like his day is now officially done at the moment. See if we can get back in. Up front, it still leads the way, but you can see that outside lane, though, get a bit of a charge here. Bit of a gap formed here. Especially as Will Sharp like to jump down, but obviously wouldn't make much sense as Gear Cats are lined up on that high line. And they work so well in stage 2. No reason to abandon your partner here. Try to get towards the front using the charge.
Everyone's spread out there a little bit. We know there's going to be some strategy calls that go into this race.
We saw it last year at the ARCS Daytona 250 as well. There's that strategy element that you want to get towards the front. If you're someone right there that's been kind of riding in the back most of this race, you can't afford to kind of wait around anymore. You have to try to slowly get your way towards the front here, charge towards the front. Because if we see green flag pit stops occur, we saw this happen at the end of stage 2 where green flag pit stops occurred, and we saw 3 Gear Cats cars were alone on an island with the rest of the pack not able to make inroads. So it's all about important to making strategy, getting linked up, charging forward. You see Hagen and Brea will jump to the low side here. That will kind of leave the Gear Cats cars alone on the high side. Try to charge to the front here. But as these laps tick down and as this green flag pit stop window looms on the horizon, if it does come, you gotta make your way towards the front here and be ready to pit and go aggressive. I think Kruger just tapped the wall just a bit there. Oh, Brea just got left in the middle there. Tried to go back down with Hagen. Couldn't get it done. Is now in the sucker hole here. And he's going to try to charge up there. Oh, big clear there. Cleared himself to make sure he didn't fall back any further. Right in front of the 29 of LaJoy. Luckily, LaJoy may not be too thrilled about that at the very least, but will end up sparing the 74 and will keep it clean and keep it green. As Hagen still leads the way, but I feel like he's going to get disposed of relatively quickly here. He ends up keep blocking the lanes. Sharp pushing the back off that 81 here, just trying to get him ahead enough maybe to clear all 3 Gear Cats cars. 18 still not letting go. Now we'll jump low. We'll join. All 3 of them will move to the low side there. Picture perfect textbook. Now they'll jump to the low side, and Hagen will be left alone on the high side.
And Hagen didn't even try to block it. He knew what was coming on that. So very smart play there by Hagen, just letting that happen, letting the teams sort of sort out, because he's got his team boss right behind him.
Yeah.
In Brea, so he knew that the fallback plan was pretty easy there to figure out. Now you've got, it's 3 versus 2 in the team battle at the front of the field, and Gear Cats currently right now holding that advantage as they did at the end of stage 2 when they were able to really put a gap to the rest of the field.
Yeah.
For everyone tuning in to today's event, welcome to the Western Mass Mechanical 250, the start of the ARCS A-Square Cup Series season here on ABN Esports 1. I'm Carmen Sienna. Alongside me is Kevin Young to present today's action here at Daytona. It's been a very wonderful event. Less than 40 laps to go. We've had 2 cautions only for the stage breaks. No incident cautions so far in this race. Very reminiscent to last night's race here in Daytona under the lights for the SNS series. Do we see a similar pattern come to the front today? That's the interesting question. Right now it's the Gear Cats 1, 2, 3, Peltier, Sharp, Kruger, and Gaiman at the front of the field. David Rat in the inside lane as well, moving ahead of the Beatron cars at Hagen and Brea. Outside lane trying to surge once again, but it's not as compact there. You see 3 cars there with Mike LaJoy in the 29, but then there's a gap. You have to go all the way back to Brian Torchia.
Yeah, it's interesting right now because we saw it last from Beatron. You kind of have to break up that 3-pack, but kind of careful what you wish for situation. If you're like David Wright, for instance, as he's kind of a bit of an odd situation right now, as he's kind of just alone with not much assistance around him, teammate-wise, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that point that at the very least, though, you kind of have to, if you let Gear Cats kind of link together and dominate the inside line, it could end up being a bit of a problem when we get to that green flag pit stop window opening up in the next 10, 15 laps. So there's that risk strategy, but obviously the alternative is handing the reins over to the defending A-squared Daytona 250 winners in B-Tron Racing and Jeremy Breo. So it's kind of a pick your poison situation right there. If you're a little bit further back, you're not in a Gear Cats or a B-Tron Racing car right now. And the question is, what do you do to try to break up this monotony, I guess, to add that point? I'm just like right now, just kind of saying Michael Joy is the only next-gen racing car in that top 10 right now at the moment. As for David Wright, he's the only Prophecy Motorsports car in that top 10. So, again, teammates without teammates right now at the moment inside this pack, as Painado is trying to get himself back in the top 10. So, a little bit further back on that outside line. But right now at the front, though, you can see Breo and, while I was talking, using those analogies, Breo and Hagan jump to the low side and will get in front of the Gear Cats machine. Now, LaJoy is going to be the one car on that high groove with some assistance from Torchia and the other one behind him.
Yeah, Brian Torchia and Mike LaJoy have been working to try to get to the front of the field pretty well, and they've done a really good job of that so far in this event.
And remember, that 82 machine was an open car. He had to qualify to get into this show, and it came very chaotic at the finish there. He was able to get himself in by speed, and right now taking advantage of that open car policy to get himself right now in the top 10. So definitely saying, hey, if there's an opening or if you have a driver leave, maybe I should be that replacement right now. Kind of, especially if he wins this race, it gives kind of that consistency of, hey, maybe sign me, maybe I'll get you a playoff spot. So there's that at the very least that can help him out here at the very least, if he can make his own luck here and help himself out here. And right now with the charge with LaJoy, it's going to push LaJoy to the lead at the moment. Now, can LaJoy get clear? Now it's a different story, but at the very least, currently sitting P3.
Well, yes, I think there's lap traffic in the way here, and this is going to be Mark Dila, the 80.
Yep. Speaking of that lap traffic update, it's only Dalila right now. The 00 Pacey Wygent is just up the road, but about 2 corners away. But at this rate, will be caught.
Look at how much it checked up that inside lane.
That inside line is definitely screaming wide, and you go to the apron. But being only one down, he has the right to fight, hold the line. But yeah, definitely not winning any points over with some of the teams at the moment for B-Tron and Gear Cats. And now they'll be shuffled back. And now it's left kind of a charge at the front here. LaJoy, Oberstadt, Stefan Oberstadt, Alan, Catania, Gia battles right now, your top 6. And you can see up towards that front. Right now, it's LaJoy was able to get down, and Alan, though, looking to try to maybe think about taking the outside line here. Speaking of next car, they are low right there. You can see, oh, well, you didn't see it from this perspective. I saw it from perspective. You saw the 2 B-Tron cars jump to the high side there. They saw an opportunity to get high, and they'll take it. Especially with another lap car on the horizon here, not wanting to really wait around here and find out. And you can see now the Gear cars barred in traffic. So kind of a dog-eat-dog world. They're up front, now back. Now we're right aboard here with David Hawk in the number 28 machine. See what his perspective is right now as he currently sits in P10. Just on that outside line, about 6 cars deep, just behind Jeremy Breo. Oh, you can see right there, you can see on the high side, you can see the 00. That's Pacey Wygent. Not going to go to the apron this time. Going to pinch it towards the wall here. Cars will successfully navigate around him. Luckily, no 3 wide yet to cause any chaos. But everyone will successfully get around that 00. And if someone that's been put a lap down to Daytona on that high side, it's always a sketchy spot being pinched to the wall when it just takes one driver checking up the wrong way and you are the first one that gets blamed. But towards the front, actually, we can see still riding here with David Hawk. 28. Again, just kind of riding right now. No reason to really rock the boat. It's getting kind of spicy. You can just see in the front of this camera, you can see how spicy it's getting up front. The 33 and the 3 jump to the low side. They will take the lead of this race for Black Acid. We have a caution, and it looks like it was for the...
Oh, no, it's Seth Wansing.
Seth Wansing, the 40 was involved as well. Feemster, Elfridge George.
Oh no.
We'll have to see what exactly happened. But Feemster looking pretty wounded. So we'll take a look here.
And it starts with
Oh.
Elrich George in the 40 and Wanzing.
Mm-hmm.
So Elrich George in the 40. This is for 30th. This was just inside the top 30.
Yeah.
I'll play it in slow motion. Elrich George in the middle between the 55 there and the 65. That's Gomez and Painter.
Yeah. Trying to make a third line happen here, or at least try to get the high side with third line here. And
Bounces off the quarter panel with Painter. Painter gets hooked up there. And it
then
just
right in the Wanzing.
that's a pendulum effect right there. Object in motion stays in motion. And looks like the little bit of chaos further ahead here, and that's everyone that was trying that was checked up at that point trying to avoid it. You saw Kevin Feemster who ended up getting turned wrong side around. He got checked up, and I think that's Tom Sears that got into him.
Yeah, looks like
yeah, it is Tom Sears there, the 21 to 14. Feemster grabs the apron, bobbles up, gets tagged, tries to save it, clips the apron again, and that just shoots him right up to the wall and right back in front of Sears.
Yep. So a couple of cars are going to get some good damage here. Again, most of them should still have their fast repair in the tank, though, so they can get it fixed back up. But, again, with chaos looming, with this caution, it kind of sounds the alarm that the calm before the storm here needs to get more chaotic. So we'll take one more look here again. We're on board here with the perspective of Elfridge George here and see exactly what he saw from his perspective. And that yellow rocket pencil machine gets a good run there, tries to take the middle here, and then, like you were saying, Carmen, the pendulum effect. Down, object motion stays in motion till it's stopped by a force, and that force was named Seth Wanzing. And there's Kevin Feemster again, his own little separate incident there, all the way around after the checkup. So back to live action here, and it's interesting as well, this caution came out at an odd time, as it's safe to assume right now at the moment, if this goes green, we saw at the end of stage 2 fuel concerns making it 25 laps, and right now, within 25 laps. So that no driver in theory should be good to go here if we go green. Obviously, with this field getting bunched back up, it's gonna be hard to see this going green to the finish, but you've seen stranger things happen. And at the very least, though, I don't think right now at the moment a lot of these drivers are comfortable with their fuel numbers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. 20, you can't. They couldn't do 25 laps before. They're not going to do it now.
Oh, meanwhile, just a little bit further back, Mongold got in the Smeal and got in the Allen. It's a little bit of damage checker for all three of them. Looks like their cars are relatively okay, but so yeah, as the field gets shooken up here, we'll take a recount of stock here. Just use this as a second here. Right now at the moment, we have 32 cars on the lead lap. Mark Blair, last car on the lead lap at the moment. After that, it's believable, if I'm reading this correctly, Ryan Gomes first one down, along with everyone else behind him. So Ryan Gomes looking to try to get back on the lead lap here if another caution were to come, along with the 60 of Baxter, Garrison 2 down, James Kerr, I believe 2 down as well, Pacey Wygent 3 down, along with Bryant Ruper's out of this race. So very interesting situation at the moment. Still not out of contention for some of those drivers. 1 down at the moment if more cautions end up breeding off here.
Mike LaJoy, Josh Battles, Stephen Oberstadt, Jeremy Breo, John Hagan, Richie Catania, Cody Pinnell, Brian Torcha, Billy Peltier Sharp, and Michael Lawrence back in the top 10 here.
And again, kind of looking at that front right now, just kind of put in perspective right now. I'm looking at the biggest movers this race right now. biggest movers are Mike LaJoie and Josh Battles, both up 35 spots from where they qualified those machines. Jeremy Braille also up 35 as well at the moment, currently sitting at third. John Hagan up 33. Well, Braille's on 34 because he's fluctuating. John Hagan up 33. Torchia up 18. Kenneth Cheney up 21. So a lot of those drivers in that top 5 were starting about 30th back, or late 20s, early 30s range, start of this race. So they've made the strategies work, and they've put themselves in a spot where they could make a back qualifying work out, while some of the other drivers had strong qualifyings like Dustin Back and Josh Gaiman right now are a little bit further back in traffic.
Okay, so it's going to take the left into pit lane. First incident for a caution comes with 29 laps to go. We're going green with 26 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. It's LaJoie and Battles in front of the field.
And the 74. So the 74 is going to stay high here. We go back low. Atlanta Beagle does have a kind of a friendly relationship with Beatron at the very least. Those 3 right now on that high side at the moment. 129 on the low side. Makes me wonder, though, as we watch these laps going to take away here, it makes me wonder if anyone's maybe daring enough. We saw Tom Sears try to make 25 laps. I wonder if anyone's really going to try to back it down here and maybe try to make it towards the finish here. It's now hit officially 25 to go. By the way, those are someone in the chat was asking why Patrick Allen lost 19 spots in pit lane. He ended up taking 4 tires in damage repair, while almost every car ahead of him ended up taking fuel only / 2 tires. So he ended up having a longer pit stop time than a lot of the other cars and shuffle towards the back. So hopefully that answers your question. But if we hit 24 to go here, outside line there, Breo trying to make the charge here. Beatron always finds a way towards the front near the end of these races. Battles, not the rookie in Battles, not allowing him to fall away. A little bit further back there, you can see a bit of some chaos there. Seth Wansley trying to bark some orders here in the back. Just trying to maybe get some chaos here, not to lose the draft here. Wansley in that second pack, just a little bit further back here, trying to stay touch. Inside line, keep in charge here. Right there, Catania and LaJoie going to jump high and leave Battles all alone. Black Acid Racing car going to be left alone here with no help, as he's going to be jumped to the low side.
New race leader Mike LaJoie with Richie
Next Gen
Catania
Racing
and Jeremy Braille.
Remember, LaJoie and Catania are teammates. They're in communication with each other. Meanwhile, though, if you look at that inside line, all 4 GearCats cars linked up at the moment. Obviously, they got an 84 and a 71 ahead of them, but they're linked up on that low side. Watch this battle kind of rage out here. I'm still keeping an eye on Seth Wansing right at the moment. Looks like, though, they've lost the draft completely, though, along with James Kerr. So it looks like they're going to need another caution to get re-racked here. As you can see right there in the long shot right there, just how far back they have fallen. There's LaJoie leading the way. Remember, LaJoie didn't get a win last season. He was a very strong car last season. Showed some good potential at certain tracks, top 10 machines, sometimes top 5, but couldn't find that elusive victory at his first home. Now with a new team, that's the 29 Next Gen Racing, looking to try to get his first victory, not have to sweat the next 15 weeks, where he can just say, all right, I got the win. Let's just make sure we can get ourselves a playoff ticket. And actually, that's one other thing about the short schedule that kind of helps here. If you do end up getting a win, with there only being 18 races, the odds of you getting bounced out are not high, because the odds of getting 18 winners isn't as, like, unlike with a normal 26 race calendar, was a good chance to get more than 16 winners. Here, with it only being 18, your win is a little bit more valuable if you get a win, ensuring yourself you're fighting for playoff action. So
Absolutely.
this could easily help out a lot of these drivers here. We obviously know Breo's a strong driver, but Catania, LaJoy, debutants for the new teams can easily give them a breath of fresh air, a sigh of relief if they can get a win here and not have to worry about the next 17 weeks. They can just kind of do what they need to do and get ready for the playoffs. Well, obviously, they still want to win and other things, but at least ensures that they'll have a chance to fight for a championship as long as they make the races. So 20 to go here. We assume if it stays green, majority of this field is going to have to take one more pit stop. The fuel saving is not high. You can see right there the 00 Pacey Wygant look like he will be going another lap down here. It's been a race to forget after getting that damage. Looks like it's going to be on the next week at, I was going to say Atlanta, but I don't know if it is actually Atlanta. But the point is, he's trying to get back on that horse next week and try again to get point in the right direction here. So he'll go another down. He'll hold that low side, though. Not onto the apron, most importantly, so that could cause a bit of a checkup here for that inside line that we saw last time by with that 80 car. It's going to see the effect again as Battle's going to try to push that 00. And yeah, you can see a bit of chaos behind saying, get out of the way. But Elijah going to hold his nerve here and just try to put himself in a competitive spot. Wygant's still on that inside line. They can't really dispose him. No way to put him. And actually, it looks like that car is pretty at a competitive speed right now. Took the fast pair. Problem is he's 6 down at the moment, so it's going to need a lot of caution to try to get that 00 back on the lead lap. But even then, a bunch of cars a lap down ahead of him. Not going to be high. He gets back contention. So luckily now 5 down, being the lead car. It's actually helping out Battles here a bit, along with Cody Pennell here. You can see a bit of a stack up in that middle groove there. Cars trying to take a third line here. Some in the sucker hole. Looks like Kenneth Cheney in that Navy machine. It's in the middle lane right there. You can see the outside. Hagen willing to try something here to try to maybe try to link up with Breo again to get towards the front. Oh, Hagen just blinked for a second there. Now he's back in. Maybe a bit of a bad side for Hawk and Mongold as trying to stay on that high side here. Ray will jump to the high side, 17 to go. That lap was still led by LaJoy as that 00 is not on the lead lap. Oh, bit of a squeeze there. Just a little bit further back there, that was the 82 that put the pinch on the 3, and I almost smell disaster. Car touches the wall there, puff of smoke on that third line. I think that was a Lilac.
The tactical just a smidge. Yep. One of the independent drivers that raced their way in 2 weeks ago. He's been in the top 10 a decent amount of this race. But now with 17 laps to go, pressure's on. Remember, there is a pit stop in this race still.
Yeah, it is. And it makes me wonder as we watch it. Obviously, it doesn't look like we're high, like how the race is right now. If we go 17 laps green, I would be very shocked indeed. But it makes me wonder as we watch that second pack that has Wanzing, George, Withers. They're further back. Are they maybe trying to hit that magical number? Because we assume right now these cars are going flat out. No one is really saving in this pack we're currently watching right now. But the ones that have fallen off, maybe they're trying to hit that magical number. As you can see right there, the car's jumping high and low. They've gotten it stayed out here. But that right now, what Wygant was helping that inside line now seems to really to be hurting it, as that inside line has lost a lot of momentum now. And now the question is, can Breo, Hagen, maybe Obersat all jump low here and try to get themselves ahead of LaJoy and Catania? Looks like that gap's actually going to close up quite quickly here. So if that opportunity is null and now void. Oh, car on the wall. It's the 4 Mongold, and that will be the caution. Garrison, a big lick into the wall there. Multiple cars involved, getting on the brakes here. We'll have to count in a second. He was involved. You can see cars spinning around here.
Oh, that's a bad roll there. Connor Knowlton should have just stayed still, and David Wright's going to be very upset about that one.
Yep, you can hear it in the radio call right now. Right, not happy.
Yeah, that is a rookie mistake there if I've ever seen one. You got to hold the brakes and wait for everyone to go through. Absolute rookie mistake there.
Yep. Bit of a blunder there. So we'll take a look here exactly what happened, but...
Oh, this is a wobble all the way through. I see if I can grab a spotter cam real quick. Let's see from high above.
Let's see, speaking of the two, makes the move here, and then similar to
this is Knowlton and Mongold here. Knowlton goes to the middle. Middle's clear. You see that. There's a decent lane there. Mongold looks like, Mongold drifts over.
Yeah.
Mongold just completely drifts over there and grabs Knowlton. Knowlton's play was on that one. I'm usually not a big condoner of three-wide racing at this point, but Knowlton had the space, firmly had the space, with the outside lane running the wall and the inside lane running the yellow line. And Mongold, I don't know if he was trying to side draft or see if he was trying to pinch down Knowlton. It did not work.
No.
I see several cars here, and then what happens here just isn't acceptable. You can see David Wright's coming here. You have to hold the brakes.
You gotta hold the brakes so everyone passes. Again, rookie mistake, and he'll get a talking to in the hauler at the very least at the end of this race.
Yeah, that is not good for a driver that was given such high praise going into this. That was a really poor blunder.
Yeah, at the very least, so we can take it as a learning experience. But anyway, though, this will obviously be the final pit stop of the race. Everyone will now make their way in. I was going to say that Hagan looked like he was going to dupe the field there. He will now come in. Obviously, Wygant going to stay out and try to get one of his laps back here. But everyone else officially in. So no real chaos. The only chance we saw green flag pit stops here tonight was at the end of stage 2. It was a little chaotic. We saw Cheeseburger Lawrence miss his pit box. Well, missed the pit lane entirely, I should say. But for some of the drivers, though, a bit of a sigh of relief that they don't have to deal with the chaos with 10 to go, or 5 to go, trying to get down pit lane as quickly as they can. Now the question is strategy. We see Ryan Pinnell rolled. Ryan Pinnell and Tom Sears stayed out. Interesting. First one off pit lane, though, is Mike LaJoy, though he will win the pace off pit lane. Everyone taking fuel only, or minimum 2 tires. Everyone else in. So race off pit lane was LaJoy, Breo, Catania, Cheney, Oberstadt, Patrick Oberstadt, Josh Battles, Brandon Proudfoot, Cody Pinnell, Stefan Oberstadt, Brian Torchia, your top 10 off pit lane. But more importantly, Ryan Pinnell and Tom Sears rolling the dice here. Think that magical number was hittable, and with an extra caution lap here, like you were saying, Carmen, 1 lap under caution is 2 laps under green. Thinking that maybe these extra couple parade laps would get them just enough to make it towards the finish. They're gambling that track position is more important, and they can hit that number. Obviously, track position is important, but they can hit that number.
This will be very interesting with Pinnell and Sears. 2 drivers that know how to get it done here at Daytona, especially leading the line. LaJoy, Breo, who won this race last season, Catania, Cheney, Oberstadt, who knows how to win here as well. Patrick Oberstadt and Steven Oberstadt, both in the top 10 there. Proudfoot knows what it's like to win on plate races. Cody Pinnell knows what it's like to win on plate races. A lot of experience in this top 10 right now. Gonna be very intense. But for those drivers that just came down pit lane, everyone but Sears and Pinnell, they're good to go. They don't have to lift. They don't have to worry about it anymore. It is full throttle to the finish.
Again, it's really re-racking the billiards table here to a degree. You know chaos is going to happen here just a bit here. Drivers, obviously alliances, you're going to work with your teammates. You're going to help push your teammates to try to get them in this position because obviously having more friends up there is more helpful than having enemies. But at the same point, though, it's just interesting to see how this is all going to play here. Is right now looking at that top 10 at the moment. Ryan Pinnell, just confirming the lineups here just to make sure. Ryan Pinnell is kind of on an island, obviously with the strategy of his own. But his only teammates, the 84 is currently in 10th. Zier is not inside the top 10. Alfred George is not inside the top 10. Meanwhile, Presidential Racing's Tom Sears, team owner, at the same point. Sorry, Line Power, not Presidential. Line Power Motorsports. Tom Sears, his main partners, Baxter, Knowlton, and Michelle, not inside the top 10. So he's kind of alone. Like, he's going to have to rely on his friends in ARCS or basically the communications he's made along the way, but that can only get you so far. As obviously, you're not going to push a friend to the finish line if you can win the race. But right now, we'll do a quick re-rack here. It's Ryan Pennell, Tom Sears in the front row, LaJoy and Breo in row 2, Catania and Cheney in row 3, Richie Catania. The 41 of Patrick Oberstadt and Proudfoot in row number 4, and Stefan Oberstadt and Cody Pennell in your top 10.
This is where the money's made. We're going to see how it pans out here.
And you got some drivers with long winless streaks inside this top 10 or not one at all in A-square competition. Winning the grandest race of them all can definitely feel very good at the very least.
A-square's going to take the left into pit lane.
It's
Pennell and Sears. The restart zone. Green flag in the air once more. 12 laps to go, 11 at the line.
The other risk is you don't want to get too far ahead, as the pack will catch. You can see right there the effect. Well, got a little push, but not enough to make it happen. And now Sears will have a charge on the outside along with Breo and Cheney. Now, though, coming back, though, with the help of LaJoy and Catania. Earlier in the broadcast, Tom Sears won the SNS race last night here on the high banks as well. Love to make it a weekend sweep for that number 14 machine. But
we've not seen someone sweep an entire weekend before. Tom Sears could be the first.
10 laps to go.
Can you tell that the pressure got cranked up a couple notches? Like 12? Sears leads the outside lane with help from Breo, the winner from last year's race. Ryan Pennell and Jenna Cheney in the inside lane. Ryan Pennell just has nothing there right now. Mike LaJoy just can't get to him quite the way Breo's been able to get to Tom Sears.
And that could affect the whole line. You've seen that before where a car can kind of kill a line if they don't really get the push. You don't feel comfortable pushing them. You can have the effect that can really play a disaster if you're not careful. And right now, the inside line's starting to feel it a bit, and it can really get chaotic. Right now, it's not bad, but if you see that 74, or let's say right now Sears gets pushed clear along with Breo, Knowlton, and Knowlton and Breo jump low, it can really play a factor and shuffle you further back. At this late in the race, it can be very hard to come back, especially if you're pinched on that inside line. And this is where kind of you want to sometimes be on that high side because you at least have the flexibility to make a third line happen if you need to at the drop of the hat. Oh, car spinning in the back. Sear gets hooked by the 81 of Hagen. Well, not hooked, but looks like an indirect accident happened, but that will be the caution there. Zier, Hagen. Zier was an unlucky passenger, and that I know for a fact she wasn't just kind of hit by something. But looking at seeing exactly who was involved, I know it was Zier, Hagen, and one other car. I'm trying to see who exactly it was on the mini map. Looks like it was a 23. No, it was a 21.
Let's go back and look here.
Yeah, that would be more helpful than me guessing cars.
So what happens here? So this is Zier.
Withers. Looks like it's a bump on the inside line. It looks like Withers gets bumped bad.
Yeah, so we're looking here. Let's see if we can pull out a little highlighter.
Yeah, it's going to be right around there.
Here we go.
Well, there. Yeah, right around there.
Oh, so it looks like Wanting pushes it 3 wide there. Play it in slow motion here.
Wanting pushed it 3. And then
Hagen tried following and cut off Withers, the 23.
Who
comes right back in front of Zier.
Who then gets into
Feimster almost got clear of that.
Yeah.
That's upsetting there.
And Feimster got some good damage because he had to get an EOL because of the damage. So Yeah, he
Yeah.
got a good look at that wall.
Mm.
And again, that's just the chaos you have with 10 to go, especially if that far back. It's kind of go time. You have to get towards the front. And that's what happened. One more look here at full race speed here. And yeah, Zier just riding along, unaware, and next thing you know, she's sideways. Luckily, does not get clobbered by Withers there cutting through the grass. So at the end of the day, not really any major damage for that 89 Ford machine, but still going to be a bit in the back with so few laps left, not going to be helpful for Cause to try to win this race.
Sear now down in 27th place. Still Sears leading the way, but now it's going to be an interesting choice because Breo's in second, so that's Cheney and Pinnell, third and fourth.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting indeed. And it's the Toyota, Ford, Chevy, Ford. Your top 5 brand Proudfoot and a Ford as well. The only teammates in that front pack, actually, I don't think any of the top 5 are teammates. Pinnell's obviously with Presidential. Cheney with a new driver, his new face. Another team, and then you got Sears with Line Power, Breo with B-Tron. And Proudfoot, obviously, driving for Tombstone. So, yeah, no real, like, it's something where we saw last year, B-Tron was able to get linked up. We saw it during this race, teams were getting linked up, but right now, you don't really have, if you're in that top 5, you're kind of alone. You got to do what you got to do without the assistance of friends and being pushed. You got to make your own lines. And this is where the money happens. This is where the drivers that know how to, are strong at plate racing, know how to win plate racing consistently, this is where they reap. This is where they eat. This is where they kind of sit at the table and eat till their heart contents. Because this is where they thrive. Someone like Jeremy Breo, for example, knows how to get it done at plate racing. We saw him win countless plate racing here in ABN. Gotta name a few at the top of my head. I know he won A2 Daytona 250. He also won the first HDL Hammer Down Truck Series one. Was a contention for a few plate races at Abenbox Cup Series. So definitely someone that knows how to wheel these plate tracks no matter what machinery he's in. It's definitely someone to keep an eye on with 7 to go. Trying to do what not many drivers have done. Go back to back, the grandest race of them all to start a season. In 2 consistent years. As the lights are now out on the pace car, it's going to be Sears, Breo, first row. Cheney, Pinnell, row number 2. Then it's going to be Proudfoot and Patrick Oberstadt, row 3. LaJoy, Catania, row 4. Stefan Oberstadt, Cody Pinnell. Actually, Stefan Oberstadt and Catania, row 5. Should be the first 5 rows. And just for those thinking chaos vote, right now we have 33 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is Delela, who is on the lead lap. So 33 cars have a chance to win this thing if chaos really rips its ugly head out here. I guess the last interesting question I have is how long do we see till a third line is formed? Right, put your chips to the front of the table, go all in. We'll see what happens here. Pace car coming off of 4 here.
Tom Sears, Chevy Breo, front of the field. Kenneth Cheney, Ryan Pinnell in row 2 as we come to 5 laps to go. Green flag back in the air. How does this race come to a close? Sears got a really good run.
But problem is
and
similar
got
happened
clear
to
of Breo. That was smart.
Yeah.
That was
Block off the
very smart. Because Cheney didn't have any help with him.
Smart play. Unlike we saw in the last restart, Pinnell kind of got swallowed. Sears got ahead and jumped ahead when he had the opportunity. David Wright just got hip checked back there. He'll get back in, though.
Yeah,
Car's
further back,
fading
it
out
is
here.
a melee in the further back area. If there's going to be a caution, there'll be back there. Kenneth
Seeing
Cheney has a
3-1.
little bit of help now in the form of the 22 of Brandon Proudfoot.
Seeing a third line already getting forward. Hagen trying to make a third line happen back there as we're coming to 4 laps to go. 10 miles separates one of these drivers and a checkered flag and a trophy and a win. Sears still leading the way at the moment, but Kenneth Cheney on that inside line got Proudfoot in assistance. That inside line's been a bit more dominant when necessary, but that high line's been more of a passing lane.
Outside lane not seemingly put together there on the back straightaway. Gives the inside lane a really good run with Cheney leading Proudfoot and Patrick Overstat. Outside lane, it's Sears, Breo, Ryan Pinnell, Mike LaJoy. Outside lane, Dustin Painter. On the inside, it is the 25, I believe it's Daniel Michelle.
Yep.
On the far outside, but that's in 20.
Breo making a move there. He's not going to sit around. He's going to go to the inside line.
Caution
Car
back.
spinning. Multiple cars
Huge
involved.
Caution there. Mongold, Zier, but Feimster again. Looks like
Withers.
Connor Knowlton's backwards. He is backwards again.
Delgado.
Yeah,
Alfred
there's Delgado
George
there.
take evasive action.
And here comes our first overtime of the season.
First of 3. More importantly, Breo got ahead of Sears where the caution was called, so he will have choice of lane. So take a look here
at this. This is something that was building for just a little bit. We'll go in slow motion. A lot of jockeying back and forth. Everyone trying to get around. I believe that is 33 of Patrick Allen. But it starts just ahead. Patrick Michelle puts, I believe that's Connor Knowlton in the wall.
I believe. Bit hard to tell at that angle, but looks like that's what occurred. And at that point, 52 gets sent downward.
Delgado, yeah, it is Michelle that got Knowlton into the wall there. You saw Michelle bouncing off still. And obviously that's what we picked up. All the cars bouncing over the grass there. Knowlton still bouncing off. Ross backs to the front row starter. Led a lot of the early laps in this race. Nothing that he could do in that.
Yep. Alfred George pretty tore up a bit on that front end. There's James Kerr, Joshua Garrison gets through okay, and there you can see the 23.
Did Tommy Withers not touch anything on that?
I swear he got a piece of it when
He
the
probably
cars came down.
He probably got hip check, but he looked like he was about to hit the wall.
No, he doesn't hit that out groove. He's slowing it down.
He does tag tire barrier. He tags the tire barrier
Yeah.
just a little bit. But that almost looked perfect. Not a lot of damage on that car, thankfully.
Yeah, didn't
So
get
he
as
gets
bad of
to
a lick.
still... Yeah, it looks like it's not all front end either. It looks like it's more in the corner. So he got very lucky on that.
Yep.
Wow. Because that's one of those hits where if it hits at the right angle, the entire car is done. He got very lucky there, but he was able to just get it low down. Very good save there. Well, there's another driver that is typically good at these plate tracks. Obviously, won in Las Vegas, so he knows how to win on intermediates, but he was also third last night. So he's getting really good at these races too.
Yeah.
See if I run on board with Connor Knowlton, because he's going to have a not so fun ride. And again, that's confirming what we saw there, that Michelle just kind of put Knowlton into the wall. Right on boarding with him right now. Michelle moves to the inside, checks up. That's why. Wouldn't say it's the big one. Not as many cars as we thought it could have been, since it was in the back of the field, as we called there earlier. But nothing that Connor could do there. And his race is basically over. He had the tow.
Yeah. And he's already burned a fast repair from a previous incident, so that is probably curtains for that too, like you were saying, Carmen. So 3 laps to go. Obviously, first to 3 attempts at a green light checkered. If we need all 3 attempts, we'll use all 3 attempts. But some drivers hoping we don't use all 3 attempts. Daytona can be very chaotic indeed. I mean, I'm looking at that 14 side there, and you can see a bit of some scratch marks on it. It's not looking picture perfect, but you don't care if the car looks picture perfect as long as it's in the winner's circle. So let's set the scene here for a second. Top five cars. Jared Brow, defending Ace Square Daytona 250 winner. Looking to try to go back-to-back. Tom Sears, last win at Atlanta last season. Looking to get the defending construction champions in Line Power a win to start the season. Kenneth Chaney, looking to try to get a win here in that 76 machine to start his season off right. Ryan Pinnell, the head boss of Presidential Racing, looking at his first win in the A-Squared Cup Series, if I'm not mistaken. And then Brandon Proudfoot was the shining star of the latter half of the season in that 22 machine. Came in on a part-time ride, couldn't get in the playoffs due to how late he came in. Got Presidential Racing, previously a win at Texas, now driving with a new team. Going to try to keep that same number and get a victory for the 22. And then Mike LaJoy as well, a driver that was very strong last season. Not in a position really to win, looking to try to get that win to make something happen as we ride inside the cockpit of the 74. See the Beatron logo on the helmet. Going to try to make something happen here.
Looking a little bit further back at some of the cars we have here. Tom Sears knows what it's like to win in a plate race. Both his last wins in the A-Square Cup Series came on plate races at Atlanta and Talladega, as well as last night in SNS. Kenneth Chaney, the rookie, highest placed rookie so far. Brian Torcha in 13th, the next rookie in this field. Looking to see what he can do for Carolina Beagle Racing. That team looks strong. Brian Pinnell, not won the A-Square Cup Series. He's won an SNS. He's won an Ignition, trying to win in an A-Square for the first time. He sits on the outside row too. Brandon Proudfoot, we talked about him. He won the Clash most recently to kick off this year. He's in row 3 alongside, I believe he's alongside Mike LaJoy. Look at Patrick Oberstadt. There's Mike LaJoy further back there. Patrick Oberstadt in the 6th position. Rookie this season, a Truck Series race winner.
Did run a handful of races so last season. Then there's Brandon Proudfoot and then Mike LaJoy right there. But anyway, this is gonna get interesting. 5 miles, if it goes green to the finish, separates one of these drivers with a date with destiny. Who will be that driver that does that magical moment? Pace car gonna take the lonesome left-hand turn down pit lane. Gonna be on Breo's control.
Is this the last attempt at a start here? Green flag in the air. We're in overtime. They've got to get to the white flag.
Breo could not get as far clear as last time he could, so he can't jump in front of anybody. We'll have to stay low, but thing is, Chaney's got the assistance he did, unlike last year's start as well. Sears, though, not going away on that high side. Looking to get a charge.
Tom Sears right behind him. This is going to be interesting, and they will side draft, big time side draft there. LaJoy and Catania in the top, the outside lane, the top 10. Again, they've got to get to the white flag. We had one green-white checkered last night. But do we see the white flag coming out of turn 4? They're 3 wide in the back. They've got to cross the start-finish line.
They will, but it looks like... Oh, Cheeseburger almost got turned.
To go. Presented by Smeal Racing Designs. This race is official.
Almost saw Cheeseburger get hooked there going through the tri-oval, but they keep it, more importantly, green. Inside line, though, got the momentum. LaJoy gets a little bit over-pushed by the 24 at Catania. They're losing a bit of steam on that high side. Sears trying to aggressively side draft.
Pinnell goes to the outside lane. No, that's LaJoy that goes to the outside lane. Sears in the middle.
Oh, car around the back. That's the 28, I believe, going through the grass here. We keep it green. We will see the checkered flag here. Right now, Breo had Chaney a second. Proudfoot trying to make the high line work as they come off a 4 here. The resistance is not going to be enough.
Oh, here we go. Proudfoot might have a run. He will have a run, but it won't be enough. Jeremy Breo back-to-back at Daytona.
Proudfoot second, LaJoy third as it's chaotic across the line. Breo, once he got through 4, saw his mirror. There was nothing anyone else could do. He checked home, and he gets the win. Back-to-back wins. And we were talking about in the duel that there was concerns if Breo was going to be here at this race. Well, he's very grateful he came here tonight and is looking to try to be a bicentennial champion. And right now, path towards the championship is looking brighter as he's got that win and has put himself in the playoffs in 17 weeks' time. But Brayo not thinking about that right now. Just being happy, got B-Tron back-to-back wins at Daytona, the ARCS 250, and back-to-back wins himself. So all smiles for the driver of the 74. As see Brayo goes around, I'm hearing some of the radio chat of some other drivers that just couldn't get it done. Sears, Pinnell, LaJoy, a few others. And you can hear the dejection, the heartbreak that comes with this big race. Feeling the pain. You see Brayo joined by all the other B-Tron racing machines and a few other, but obviously someone trying to get pit lane, but a few B-Tron cars joining.
Here's your winning moment. Jeremy Brayo gets to burn it down for the second time on the high banks of Daytona. He gets to burn it down in phenomenal fashion. Brayo burning it down in phenomenal style. We'll hear from podium finishers here in just a moment from Mike LaJoy, Brandon Proudfoot, and Jeremy Brayo. Brayo burning it down in style once again. Clinical from Brayo, as if it was ever in doubt.
Like I was saying, with 15 laps to go, there's that strategy. He knows how to get it around this track, wheel these cars around plate races. As he won again, HTL Truck Series, bunch of other races he's won. He knows in closing time how to get the job done, and well, he's proved in here tonight how he can keep it going. And knowing going into the other plate races, and at the same point next year for the A-Squared Cup Series, there's gonna be one driver, one thought in everyone's mind: how do you stop this 74 from getting that thing in the victory lane?
Easier said than done, but Jeremy Brayo, a winner here tonight. A phenomenal race all the way throughout. ARCS and Daytona never disappoint, and that includes here tonight. We'll talk to Brandon Proudfoot here in just a moment. Brandon Proudfoot available for an interview already. Obviously, so close yet so far away. That 22 car did everything possible to try to make it happen. Kept it clean. Kept it respectful there, but definitely gave it a shot to try to win here today. Brandon Proudfoot, the 22 car, doing a really good job here tonight going into this race. Obviously not with Presidential Racing anymore. That's a really big note there. Part of Tombstone Motorsports. Their first appearance gets them a second place finish tonight. A really good run there for them. And then we'll talk to Jeremy Brayo after that. Brandon, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty, not quite the race you were hoping for there. You're just one spot shy of a race win here at Daytona, but a wonderful way to kick off the season in earnest. Walk us through it on your end.
A lot of disappointments and a lot of patience. It seemed like every single restart I was getting stuck to the inside and just watching people go. And just trying to stay out of the messes, be careful of the accordions, and there at the very end, lo and behold, I got stuck to the inside again, but at that point it was go time, and I was finally able to give love to somebody's bumper.
Obviously, a long race that went, for the most part, caution 3. This was a race where it was either going to be feast or famine here tonight. You won the Clash, second place here, first result in earnest for Tombstone Motorsports here, second place to kick off the campaign. Obviously, a little bit less stressful, knowing that you've got tomorrow as an off night. The HTL Cup Series Championship fight is going to be next Tuesday. what was sort of the game plan going into the night? Because it didn't seem like Tombstone was working together too awful much in this race. It was just sort of pick your battles, pick your fights. What was the team strategy like there?
Because we were a little bit spread out, the other two, they tried to work together as much as they could. Me and Delgado started with each other there at the beginning, but then we just kept getting split up. So the biggest thing for us was just to call out where the runs were, because there was always somebody up in the front or somebody in the back at points. There were times that Seth was up front, and then there were times that I was up front, and then there was times that Delgado was up front. So really it was just communication, saying like, hey, the back's got a good run, and then someone would reciprocate that up front, saying, oh no, we're stagnant up here, or hey, watch the accordion, it's coming back. And so while we weren't necessarily working together, we kind of had eyes on the entire field, despite it was 40 cars tonight.
Yeah, a huge field, one of the larger fields we've seen in ARCS. Obviously a larger field than we saw in HTL, where we have like 36 cars normally. Those extra 4 cars, obviously very noticeable at a track like Daytona on its own. We go to Las Vegas next week. If we have 40 cars again, how interesting is that going to be dynamic-wise? Because we've not been to Vegas, either in HTL or in ARCS with this many cars. What is that going to feel like? What's your anticipation for that race? Obviously going in, now you've got momentum with the win at the Clash and a second place here at Daytona. What is the expectation there going to Nevada?
I'm not sure if we'll have 40 cars or not. I think, if I remember correctly, it is loosely based off of the pit stalls, but regardless, it is going to be a large field, and it's going to make those mistakes hurt even more and more, to where maybe towards the end of last season, okay, yeah, you spun out coming out of the corner, there's a caution, you get your tires freshen up, and you're only in 18th or 19th, let's say, if it was a pretty bad race. Now, I mean, that last caution, we had 30, I believe Kent called out that we had 32 cars on the lead lap. That very well could have been our field for any race for last season. So it definitely is going to have a lot of people keep it in themselves and checks and balances and try not to be mistake free, and maybe be a little bit more wary on what moves they're doing turn to turn.
You did a phenomenal job here tonight in this race, all the way to second place at the finish for Tombstone Motorsports. A phenomenal run. Obviously, a lot of racing still between here and next Sunday. Before we let you go and let you get ready for all that racing, whether it's on dirt or asphalt, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on the phenomenal effort, and welcome to the first full season you've been in the A-Square Cup Series. Welcome to the podium.
Thanks, Carmen. First and foremost, congratulations, Jeremy. You were definitely in charge there towards the end. Both those restarts you handled very well and kind of kept both lines in check, so very well done there. First and foremost, team-wise, Tombstone Motorsports, I know we were bouncing team names a little bit back and forth there, but glad to be working with the guys I'm a part of. Definitely cool to have that whole draft situation and teams get shuffled a little bit. So, but still know who to look out for. Smil Racing Designs for having the Twisted Metal car up here in P2 tonight, as well as Henderson Graphics for doing all the other cars for Tombstone. And you guys here at ABN for having us on for another season here at A Squared. And of course, everybody in the A Squared background, Ryan, anybody that's in the admin crew, Kent for doing race control, and anybody else that's helps out in the hauler, replay reviews, anything like that. Fiance, friends, and family that root me on as well. As you said, no Monday race tomorrow, so I hope everybody has a good Monday Daytona, and we will all catch you again here on ABN. Have a good night, everybody.
Absolutely phenomenal job, Brandon Proudfoot, second place finisher here tonight. A phenomenal result for Tombstone Motorsports, with a day off tomorrow and a full focus on Las Vegas in 7 days' time. Brandon, enjoy it.
You as well.
That was Brandon Proudfoot, second place finisher here tonight. A phenomenal result for him. We will move to the third place driver. Now, Mike LaJoy now available. He had to debrief with his team there in third place going here at the finish. We'll hear from him. Mike, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Carmen, I got you.
Alrighty, that was an exciting race for a driver that was under the radar going into this race, kind of just sitting under the radar. You were in the top 10 just about all race long. We was able to work just about everybody there in the Next Gen Racing, really getting on the right foot here at Daytona. A P3 for you. I believe it's your first podium in the A Square Cup Series. Walk us through it, because again, it's a lot harder to be up front all race long and to be in both lanes like you were. We saw you mostly prefer the top lane. That was the lane that was moving, and you were orchestrating a lot of those runs with the pace that you had. Walk us through it.
Yeah, like you said, for most of the race there, I thought the high side was better. So really, anytime I was around somebody I felt I could work with or a teammate, I tried to stay up there. Right out of the start, I started almost last, having missed the duels. And in the first few laps there, I don't know if people were trying to be cautious, but I found myself in 20th pretty quick. And kind of when I found myself up there, I thought, well, maybe we'll just keep moving forward. And ended up getting pretty close to the front a bunch pretty early there after the first stage. Somehow we missed up the pit stops, and the pit stops in between the first and the second stage. Me and Richie were running in the top 5, and then we came out in like 20th or something. So I'm not really sure how that happened, but worked our way back up and just really fought hard to stay there the rest of the way. And like you said, the top lane was really good. So coming to the end there, that was our goal, was to be high as much as possible, because the bottom lane kept, for whatever reason, stalling out. It just didn't seem to get the runs.
Obviously, for you, it's a great way to kick off the season, coming in as coming off of a sophomore, coming off of a rookie season last season into your first full season with Next Gen Racing, a brand new team for the series. Obviously, it's been very important for that team to get off the ground right. We talked about that with Tombstone Motorsports as they came into the fold. How important was that tonight as far as just building the momentum for the team? Because Next Gen overall, they were up for a decent amount. Dustin Painter obviously won the duel 2 weeks ago, but it seemed like it was not as coordinated as other teams could be. What was the difference there for you being able to stay in the top 10 compared to your teammates there who ended up having trouble late in the race anyway? It just seemed like there was a bit of a shift as far as who wanted to do what in that race.
Yeah, me and Richie were able to stay together a lot, but really I didn't see the other guys at all, to be honest. We just never were able to piece it together. But to your point, it was big to get a couple cars in the top 10 coming out of the chute here, and Painter getting some points in winning the duel there is huge to get a good first couple weeks for the team. And you kind of alluded to it before. I felt like I kind of flew under the radar, and then in the draft and maybe on some people's boards. But in the second half of last season, when I ran pretty much full time, I think I flew under the radar points wise because I had started so late. But if you had looked at the points per race, I was pretty up near the top for what I did run in. So I was happy to get a good start here.
You did a phenomenal job here tonight, getting Next Gen Racing its first podium in the A2 Cup Series, a third place here at Daytona, with Las Vegas coming up here in 7 days' time. It's a lot of fun watching races here at Daytona, especially when you have a lot of plate racing aces that are at the front of the field. You were definitely able to put yourself among those here tonight. To let you get ready for Las Vegas, we'll let you have fun and get back and debrief with your team there and figure out what to get ready for with Las Vegas. But before we let you go there, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on your first podium in the A2 Cup Series, a well-earned P3 for Mike LaJoie.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Just shout out to Ryan and the admins. They put on a really good, really organized league here, and it's really cool to see the amount of drivers we had tonight. Shout out just to the team, and I'm happy to be running with those guys, and happy to be drafted with Next Gen, and just happy to be part of it.
Absolutely phenomenal job, Mike LaJoie, P3 for Next Gen Racing. With Las Vegas coming up, the season begins in a very good light for Mike LaJoie and Next Gen Racing. Enjoy the podium, and we'll see you next Sunday.
All right, thank you.
That was Mike LaJoie, third place finisher tonight. Again, top 18 on your screen as they have been since the race concluded here. A phenomenal job here tonight. We'll talk to the race winner here tonight. The DRS podium interviews. Jeremy Breo, a race winner for the second time in a row. The Daytona 250 belongs to Beatron Racing and Jeremy Breo. Jeremy, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Get a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Phenomenal drive here tonight, back to back in the big race, and you had to earn it too. From the back of the field to the front, walk us through what it was here, because you didn't even think you were going to be here at this race. Really about 2 weeks ago. What changed? What were you going through? And obviously, what was it like going from the back to the front of the field, working with your teammates and working with anyone else that would help you?
I mean, 2 weeks ago, the computer about shit itself, but it magically came back to life, and now we're here. But other than that, we had to start shotgun on the field, and it was basically at the beginning of the race was just, sit in line and try not to cause any trouble. I mean, I had Hagen in my ear the whole time trying to get me to go to the outside, take it 3 wide, and I knew it was going to cause trouble, so we didn't do it until we tried to get the stage win there at the end of stage 1, and I got shoved into the wall, and then it was just a bad move from there on out. So stage 2 kind of worked out in a weird way where we all thought we were going to make it, and then we get to 5 laps to go on the stage, and then nobody can make it, so everybody pitted. And I tried to pit with them, and then I lost the pack there at the end of that. And then we started stage 3, and I got some track position because I didn't take as much fuel as everybody else. And once I got the track position, I mean, this race is all about track position. If you're in the top 6, you probably have a really good shot, and if you can stay there the whole time, you're probably going to be there at the end, or at least on the last lap. And yeah, it was basically about staying up front at that point, and then we got up to second there on that second to last restart, and I got ahead of Sears there whenever that caution came out, and I think that's what won me the race. Is I knew the 76 was going to be committed to me, and then he shoved like hell until turn 3 on the last lap, and then they all started racing back there, and then Proudfoot got around him, and then I put a monster block on him. I don't know how it looked on the broadcast, but from where I was, it was a monster block, and I blocked him twice, and I felt like that was some of my better super speedway racing. I know last year we won because of my teammates, but I think this year, I mean, me and Hagen worked together great, but this year I think that was my best driving I've ever done at a super speedway race.
It was phenomenal watching again, and this was a way bigger field than last season too. Last season we had 32 cars, I think 32, 35 cars, something like that. We had 40 cars tonight going into this, and you and your teammate John Hagen started at the back of the field. You were in row 19, having to go through the entire field. That's one to keep an eye on and kind of recap as it goes through the week. You said that was one of your best plate race performances. Statistically, it has to be. You can't start much further back there than that. It's a very similar situation, though, statistically speaking, to last season. We go into another race where statistically you said you don't enjoy the track. The track doesn't typically fare well for you, but you perform well there, Las Vegas. What has changed between last year and this year that might give you the ability to really come out and go for a second championship running in Nevada next week?
I need to get better at mile and a halves. I know the schedule only has like 1 or 2 of them, but mile and a half's a mile long tracks. I mean, besides Phoenix, I mean, I love Phoenix, but other than that, like, I need to get better. And I know the season finale is at a mile and a half, and we need to work on that because a lot of these guys up front every week are lights out at mile and a half, and I need to get better. And it starts next week, so we need to put in some time and practice and see if we can get better. But we've won at Vegas before, but that was with the old package and the old car, or the old version of the car. So we'll see if anything can translate over, but I usually run top 10 at least at Vegas. So if I put in a little bit of practice, maybe I can get top 5 and hopefully keep this run going.
Well, the hardest part of the season's already over for you, and that's a race when they get into the playoffs for a 3rd consecutive year. A phenomenal job for Team 74 and B-Tron Racing. Before we let you go and let you focus on the races coming up here for you, Las Vegas again in 7 days' time. It comes quickly. If there's anyone you want to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats again, back-to-back in the big race. The Daytona 250 belongs to Jeremy Breo.
Alrighty, thank you. I got to thank everybody at B-Tron Racing and CBR. We all worked together pretty well this race, and I believe we're going to work well together the rest of the season. Thanks to all those guys, and thanks to Smeal for coming out and doing this race. He's filling in for John Adams, and he does the best paint schemes of the business. This is one of his best paint schemes he's ever done for me. So go check him out at Smeal Racing Designs. And yeah, just thank you, Carmen and Kevin, for putting on the broadcast. Appreciate it. We love the exposure, and we need more of it. So thank you.
That's a fantastic race. Obviously, a race like this, an instant classic. Jeremy Breo, winner once again at Daytona, going back-to-back with Las Vegas coming up very quickly. Jeremy, enjoy the race win, and we'll be seeing you in Nevada.
All righty, see you then.
That was Jeremy Breo, the race winner tonight here in Daytona. The season begins the way it did last season, he'll roll through once again. Overall, just a phenomenal drive here tonight. We'll walk through the results as this race came to a close. Jeremy Brea, the race winner over Brandon Proudfoot, Mike LaJoy, Cody Pennell, Josh Gaiman. That's your top 5. Tom Sears in 6th. Then Richie Catania, David Wright, Patrick Oberstadt, and Steven Oberstadt round out the top 10. A really good run for them here tonight. Kevin Feemster, John Hagan round out just outside the top 10, 11 to 12 for them. Michael Lawrence, Ryan Pennell, Emma Kruger top 15, Dustin Painter in 16th. John Smeal and Kenneth Chaney round out the top 18 in tonight's field. We scroll our way further down the order here tonight. Josh Battle, Seth Wanzing, Lilac Zier. Just outside the top 20 here. Zier in 21st at the end of this race. Not where she wanted to be at all in this running. But that's exactly where things ended up for her here tonight. Lily Peltier Sharp also not where she wanted to be. She was in contention to win this race. Won a stage. Won her first stage in ARCS A-Square competition. Did a phenomenal job in that endeavor. Just couldn't make things happen there at the end. Ryan Gomes in 23rd. Patrick Allen filling in for Dale Markowski in 24th. Then it's Tommy Withers in 25th. Davey Houck 26th. His return to racing ends up in a 26th place finish, but he was competitive, and that was a big indicator here. A lot of drivers were able to make their way through the field and be near the front at points in this event. Tristan Catania in 48 and 27, they should say. Car 48 did not have such a great time here tonight. Elvis George in 28. He was involved in a couple of those last accidents there at the end of the race, and that pegged him down quite a bit. Brian Torcha in 29th. Ross Baxter rounds out the top 30, and then obviously there's still some drivers left here. Daniel Michel not where he wanted to be, 31st. Josh Garrison, 32nd. Mark Dila, 33rd. Austin Mongold, 34th. James Kerr in 35th. Connor Knowlton sitting in the 36th position. And as we look a little bit further down the order here, the remaining cars here, Jacob Delgado, Pacey Wygent, and Brian Rupert. Only 2 retirements in this race. Wygent and Rupert fell out of this race early on. Rupert retired from this race after just 30 laps in this event. That'll do it from everyone here at ABN. A phenomenal race, an absolute classic to kick off the season here at Daytona. We were going to have season finales Monday and Tuesday. With the postponement of the Real Life 500 to tomorrow at 4 p.m., you can watch that through your local television provider. The HTL Cup Series season finale was postponed a week. So it's been postponed. It's been pushed back to the 26th of February. So the next time we see you, it'll be on Tuesday, 8:15 p.m. at Fontana. The HTL Truck Series will have its season finale on Tuesday. And then we move from California to Charlotte for the ABN Champ Car World Series from the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. I'll be on track. It'll be David Kreutz, Olivia Hayward, and Taylor Mills in the broadcast booth for that event on Wednesday. So we get a small reprieve, a 24-hour reprieve, and then we're back at it again for some more racing here on Tuesday. But on behalf of everyone here for ABN, for ARCS, for Darkside, for Midwest Barbecue, for Darkside Mustang, Smeal Racing Designs, DRS Upholstery, Western Mass Mechanical, Just the Top Pole Award. Everyone here at ABN, my co-commentator Kevin Young, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for being a part of our night tonight. We'll see you again on Tuesday in Fontana, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 5:15 p.m. Pacific, here on ABN 1. Till next time, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun in the week ahead. We'll see you next time from Daytona.